Two guys who have been the biggest headline makers of the NFL season together before the Chiefs-Jets game, talking about, well, we don't know what they were talking about. But what is clear is there's a massive contrast between Travis Kelce's and Aaron Rodgers' careers right now. Rodgers on crutches had that season-ending injury that instantly dashed the hopes of Jets fans who just knew they'd go all the way. Kelce is healthy. He's beaming of late because he's been dating Taylor Swift. He's in his prime. Rodgers could be done for good. What's next on any given Sunday for each man is not the only thing in stark contrast.
I realize I'm in the crosshairs of the woke mob right now, so before my final nail gets put in my cancel culture casket, I think I'd like to set the record straight on so many of the blatant lies that are out there about myself right now.
Are you vaccinated, and what's your stance on vaccinations?
Yeah, I've been immunized.
The quarterback backpedaled Tuesday to take responsibility.
And I do realize that I am a role model to a lot of people. And so I just wanted to start off the show by acknowledging that, I made some comments that people might have felt were misleading. And, to anybody who felt misled by those comments, I take full responsibility for those comments.
Everyone in the squad knew I was not vaccinated. Everyone in the organization knew I wasn't vaccinated. Some of the rules, to me, are not based in science at all. They're based purely in trying to out and shame people, like needing to wear a mask at a podium when every person in the room is vaccinated and wearing a mask makes no sense to me.
So after this conversation with the league, I knew that my appeal was going away, and they were doing this, I call it a witch hunt, where they were asking every single player, are you vaccinated? They were asking a bunch of big quarterbacks, and some guys were saying, it's personal or whatever, didn't want to talk about their status, and that almost guaranteed you weren't vaccinated, right? So then they were getting ripped, and certain guys said, yes, I'm vaccinated, and, then they tried to get them to say about their teammates, who weren't vaccinated, like dogged their teammates out. So I'd been ready the entire time for this question and had thought about how I wanted to answer it. And I had come to the conclusion, I'm going to say, I've been immunized. And, you helped me with a game plan to be ready in case I did get COVID. And I followed it to a T. And when I got COVID, within 36 hours, I was, symptom-free and feeling amazing. But the protocols was you're off for 10 days. So I missed a game. We lost a football game. I came back, had to answer a ton of questions about it.
I grew up an Eagles fan, but Aaron Rodgers is easy to root against for other reasons. His entire anti-COVID vaccine crusade took the focus off of his football accomplishments and became this sharp left turn to a place we weren't even interested in going. He lied about his vaccine status, blatantly didn't wear a mask, and he barely got a slap on the wrist because he's the guy under center, and probably because he enjoys white privilege. Now that he's been adopted by right-wing conspiracy theorists, Rodgers seems to love this attention.
Oh, God. Showing off his little Band-Aid. I mean, it's weird how there was no asterisks about any of the significant side effects, especially for the young men who probably look up to Travis Kelce.
Yeah, the question is, what will break his heart first? His new relationship with Taylor Swift or the COVID shot? That remains to be seen. So They're both in the business of breaking hearts.
Slow news day. Now that we can't get those 27 seconds back, we might as well analyze the conversation between Megyn Kelly and Charlie Kirk, slamming Kelce for that Pfizer ad. We can start with the irony of their complaints of capitalism for Pfizer. Truth is, it's just not the capitalism they want to see. Isn't this America?
Yeah, look, I mean, he just did it for money, obviously. And I used to be a really big fan of Travis Kelce. And here he is trying to put a manly man spin on Pfizer. But this also goes to show how desperate Pfizer is. And you're trying too hard if you have to produce a advertisement like that.
So now the right is turning on Kelce for getting his bag. And we haven't even tackled science versus science deniers yet. Kelce believes in it. Rodgers, picks and chooses when he does. Aaron Rodgers is the same player who wants to come back from that Achilles tear and play at a high level this season. So much so that he's choosing to ignore the proven doctor's timeline to heal. And instead, Rodgers will experiment with his own cocktail of treatment options to recover faster. What gets me is the misinformation coupled with the arrogance in selling it. Now, I do hope Rodgers gets better, and maybe he will be back in time for the playoffs, so I can root against him.